I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, the 30th of August. And by golly, it's still raining in parts of the state. That light rain lingering a little longer than we thought, but the rest of the week still looks dry. And old Earl is a big whopper of a hurricane now. Let's look at some of the Skycam shots. First off, coming from Trussville, around 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's raining. We figured the bulk of the rain should be over by midday today, but for some spots, it's not. Still very confident that the rest of this week will be relatively dry. There's a Coleman Skycam. That's a look at the water of Lake Katoma, as seen from the camera just east of downtown Coleman. Looks like the sky a little brighter there. And we do see some blue sky down at the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. Look at the excellent visibility down there. That's looking back out across the water of the Gulf of Mexico. There's a water vapor satellite shot, and that old tropical low that came in over the weekend, producing rain the last couple of days, will weaken and fizzle out. The ridge aloft, northeast of here, should be the dominant factor, so the weather in coming days should be drier and hotter. And look at the trough out west. There's the radar at 217. Yes, a little rain is still falling. Huntsville, down to Lake Gunnersville, down to Aniana, parts of the Birmingham metro, then all the way down to Selma. Even over in Tuscaloosa County, a little light rain there. So the eastern side is dry, and slowly but surely that rain should disappear off the radar, but it looks like it could linger into the evening hours. We'll check temperatures, and accordingly, because of the lack of any sun, it's a lot cooler than forecast, and hey, nobody is griping about that. Coleman, 73 at 2 o'clock. Goodness. Birmingham only 76, the Shelby County Airport 77. You go on either side of the interstate, you got 80s, Anniston 83. The warm spot is Montgomery, and even there, it's only 85. And just 3 weeks ago, we dealt with triple-digit heat here. So slowly but surely, summer heat fading away. There's the convective outlook for the rest of today and tonight. We got a standard risk, the slight risk from the northern part of Kansas up to the Canadian border. And the upper Midwest is targeted tomorrow, and that's where it should be this time of the year. But you know what? Our fall severe weather season comes up a little later in the year, November and December. There's the QPF chart, expected rain for the next 5 days. The heavier rains from near Topeka, Kansas, and Kansas City up to near Detroit. And down here, nothing for much of Alabama. This is valid through the weekend, through Labor Day, Monday morning at 7 o'clock. And I do believe that is correct. It sure looks awfully dry for a while after today. There's the tropical situation. Danielle and Earl. Of course, Danielle is kicking out to sea in the North Atlantic. Earl is a major hurricane now, just north of the British Virgin Islands. The one behind it should be Fiona, and you can see others to come as the wave train continues. First off, a look at Earl. Top winds, 125 miles per hour on the 2 o'clock Central Time advisory package. It's a Category 3, moving west-northwest at 15. And again, you can see this thing is just north of the British Virgin Islands, and it's going to be passing north of Puerto Rico. The guidance has not changed much. Almost all of the dynamic models want to recurve this just off the east coast of the United States with a possible landfall up there in Nova Scotia in the Canadian Maritimes. Intensity scheme, a number of the models ramp this thing up to Category 4 strength, and there's no reason to think it won't reach that. It's been on a steady intensification over the past 24 hours. This will be a whopper of a hurricane, just sideswiping the United States, and there's the official track from the Hurricane Center, following guidance pretty nicely. And understand, in fact, let me show you the European here real quick. Again, the European has been the most aggressive in pushing it toward the eastern U.S. coast. It's got that thing within, 100 miles of Cape Hatteras Thursday evening. This is Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. But again, back to the official track, and again, you can see that the guys at the Hurricane Center take it just offshore, sideswiping Cape Hatteras and Cape Cod. But there obviously will be some wind, maybe some rain on the immediate coast. Obviously, the surf will be horribly rough and wild. And again, you can see it's pushing up toward Nova Scotia early in the Labor Day weekend. But certainly no impact here. And we'll be on the subsidence ring. That'll keep us dry. All right, there's a look at Fiona, the one coming up behind Earl. And I say, Fiona, it's not a tropical depression yet. Should be at any time. Quite frankly, I'm surprised it's taken this long for it to get its act together. It has been going through some upwelling. And again, that might limit the strength. There's a look at the modeling on what should be Fiona. The bulk of the models recurve this well to the east of the United States. A few want to keep it churning towards the west-northwest toward the Bahamas, but I think the recurvature path is the most likely. Intensity schemes on what should be Fiona. Most models keep this thing as a tropical storm, only a couple bring it up to hurricane strength. And again, I think upwelling, the churning, the cooler water out ahead of it, thanks to Danielle and Earl, will limit how strong this could be. But as we all know, with tropical systems, expect the unexpected. And look at the eastern Atlantic. We got, 1, 2, 3 more out there. One is around 27 west, one is around 10 west, and one is around 0. And all of those could develop. So that's why we're thinking it might be a pretty busy September here. Look at the 12Z GFS, the Global Forecast System, valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And again, you've got the heat bubble northeast of here where it's hot and dry. Cities like Richmond and Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and we think we should be dry tomorrow. There's the surface chart. Highs up around 90, maybe low 90s. And there's Earl in the lower right part of the screen. Wednesday, Earl moving northwest. We stay dry. Thursday, goodness, if you were living on the outer banks of North Carolina, that's got to make you nervous. When's the turn going to happen? You know, we've got these great computer models, but hey, they're just models. You live by them, you die by them. They're not necessarily for sure what's going to happen. Of course, we're in the subsidence ring, the downward motion on the periphery of that, so we're dry as a bone on Thursday. Probably mid-90s. It'll be pretty hot. And then Friday, there's the turn just offshore. That thing is side-swiping Chesapeake Bay, Delaware, coming up toward Cape Cod. And again, we're dry on Friday. There's Saturday starting off the Labor Day weekend. You can see the broad trough over the east helping to push Earl out, and it's gone up toward Nova Scotia. And look at the new surge of drier air, and that's cooler air. Thickness values are coming down. Now, Saturday could be a great day, maybe highs in the 80s. Nice little breeze out of the northeast and lower humidity. And there's Sunday. Sunday morning, hey, we should be well down in the 60s, and by golly, we might see a few upper 50s in the cooler valleys early Sunday morning. And Monday, Labor Day, we stay dry. So really, after today, a pretty straightforward forecast here. We'll check mid-month, the 15th of September. Ridging still hanging tough. We're looking for that first polar front of the season, but that's not going to happen with that pattern if that's right. And again, that looks relatively uneventful. But as we all know, tropical issues can come up, and the GFS will have no clue in the longer range. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.
Weather.